Okay, boss man. Where do I start? I shouldn't even be smiling. This is a serious topic. I want to. It's not my proudest moment. I was gonna run through some excuses, or just not say anything, cause yeah. But I like to keep it transparent about what I be doing. But you don't gotta tell people what you be doing behind closed doors. When you're in the private of your home or somebody else's home. But we all know I'm not gonna excuse my actions or someone up to being young and dumb. But I done some things that was nevertheless unforgivable. Some people say disrespectful. I would say that. But we ain't gonna start there. Let's start with how are you doing? How are you doing? Pretty good. Just know I'm doing. I don't even know. I broke somebody's trust today, so I honestly, it was nothing illegal, just frowned upon in somebody's home. When it first hit me, I threw up, not gonna lie. I ain't gonna drag it out, how they be apologizing. But I did something I wasn't supposed to be doing under somebody's home. Didn't get caught in the act, but the act was sawn on a device that wasn't properly disposed of. So yeah, we're gonna leave that out there. And your boy had to cut all contacts with that person due to what we did, But anyway, that might be a good story time when I get older, I might laugh about it when I get older, but now, definitely not, OG. I fucked up bad, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is why you gotta, be on your P's and Q's, when you're this age, you start to think you're invincible, and then you get a little bit disrespectful, And then, that's not even the worst part, to be honest. But we ain't gonna do that. It was hard, bro. This happened a couple of days ago, actually. So this is a fresh wound, bro. It's a fresh ass wound, like the freshest. But in peculiar fashion, I will figure it out. Or what else? Oh, I'm officially homeless. That's crazy. I know. Right? Still in the backyard though. But yeah, I'm probably gonna make a couple more videos before I gotta start packing up, and then yeah, we'll figure it out there. We might be couch surfing for a little TT, but we still gonna be working. We're still gonna be doing this, but it's just growing pains. But I feel like when you're this low, I feel like you gotta. I wouldn't say you let the insults slide, but you gotta just take them to the chin because you can't really say anything. You don't got no proof of interest. Like, you don't got anything to show for the effort that you're putting in. So, you might get caught here and there. But listen, I'm not gonna excuse my behavior at all. At the time, I was I wasn't guided by my mind, but more by my emotions and my feelings, And I just got caught up in the moment. But I can't even excuse the things that I did, I feel like it was just a disrespectful thing just to do it under somebody's home without their recollection, So I was gonna say, well, Boys will be boys. I'm young and dumb. And I'm still growing. But I can't say that because I'm self-aware enough to notice that that wasn't the right thing to do at the time, especially at somebody else's living quarters. You know, at the age I'm at now, you should know better, right? Like, where you should know better. Even if it wasn't plastered to see for everybody, you know, you thought it was a private moment. You know, you gotta tap in. But nevertheless, let's get to what we're supposed to be conversating about today. And what is that? Today we're supposed to be conversating about the underlying feeling of not nothing, but not knowing what nothing is, right? Because saying nothing is something, right? So the concept of nothing, right, or a big void is still something. So I feel like explaining something that you can't really construct is more harder than explaining something that does exist, but not knowing the full factors or the facilities that have it, right? And what does that have to do? What we was talking about a couple minutes ago? Nothing. No relatability of it. Well, honestly, I truly think we should go for a walk. What you think? Let's go. Let's walk and talk. I feel like the brain starts to flow a little bit better when you're walking and talking. Even though it's a gloomy day, right? And mistakes were made. It's not a sort of feeling, but hey, one day, you know, one day we might, I might laugh about it, you know, if I get to see that person again. But right now, I highly doubt it. You know, I highly doubt it. But that is okay, cause you know you live and you learn. But that is not, you know, it's not like a mandatory excuse of something. More of just more of your boy being a hornball. You just saying. Listen. When I get older, we're gonna give you a full breakdown. You know, people do say your brain does fully develop when you're 25 for males. So maybe I could use that excuse for a couple more years. I think not, cause I feel like I got off easy, hella easy in my family. So I'm not even gonna push boundaries than what it was, you know. So I wasn't even gonna give myself a, man, he's your boy, you know, stuff is like that. But you know, there's a point in time where you recollect your actions, right? And this is how I used to do it. You know, this is how I used to recollect my actions as a young buck, even though I'm still young, right? While I was over, there was always a scale in my brain, maybe a narcissistic scale if you say. But I feel like it should even out from the disrespectability of it and the legalization of it. So I was like, the more disrespectful it is, the more legal it has to be. And the more illegal it is, the less disrespectful it has to be for the actions to be brought upon, right? And I feel like that scale was only developed in my mind to so-called counteract the so-called, psychopathic tendencies I had as a young child, right? But hey, don't get me wrong, I wasn't no killing animals type of psychotic. I seen how blatantly easy it is to not manipulate, but to see how futile and fake people are, even the so-called people with pseudo-intelligence like myself, or I recognize patterns, I see how you do, and they start to use sting words like he's a pathological liar, manipulator, narcissist, right? They start to use all those words but have no correlation of the meaning. Once again, most of my videos is me being transparent more than honest, right? Transparency is the best policy, not honesty. Because honesty can be manipulated. Because you can be honest, truthful, but still leave parts out. So was it technically lying? If I told you I gave you $100, right? Not specifying what type of $100 it was, you would assume it's USD. Imagine I give you $100 in, I don't know, Canadian dollars. You would feel like you was lied to, deceived. But in order to be deceived, I have to tell you something, what it wasn't. Which it was $100, just not in USD, right? And I think that goes with plenty of options of living life. But even with that, I'm not gonna lie, when that individual told me what happened, boy, my heart dropped to my ass. Boy, when I tell you, my heart dropped to my ass. My heart dropped to my ass, right? Other people would be like, oh, well, that's just life, content. I get to speak about it, get to rap about it. Me, shit, I was gut-wrenching, bro. I felt disgusted when I felt ashamed. I started throwing up. I was like, damn, I'm acting like a pure biatch right now. Bro. And then I got that call from the higher-ups. Told me I had to cut all contact with that person. I was like, damn. I understand in the perspective as a guardian, I understand that. So we're gonna have to take that to the chin. And that shit hurt. But at the same time, you just can't be spreading your business everywhere, especially not on the internet, And I was always gonna be one of those motherfuckers who be like, why me? Why me? And then when I was really trying to be like, why God? And I used to have these so-called recollections of, oh, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. And then I look back at it now, not to discredit any type of religion. I'm like, wouldn't that mean every individual that has a so-called hard battle will be his strongest warrior? So if everybody's the strongest warrior, then each warrior is the same, right? And shit, was I wrong? But I just, almost lost it. But I just had to eat that. I ain't gonna lie, I just had to eat it. Because the way I see it, I got lucky, I got lucky. I feel like if I was any younger, probably would have been way worse, But I'm legally an adult, so I guess I should be grateful that I just got a stern talking to and, had to disappear, Even with that, I feel like self-awareness is futile when you're not using that bitch in your correct manner, bro. I was letting my manhood guide me instead of my brain, and I think that shit just, excuse my language, but that shit fucked me up. Damn, you can't even see my black eye. That shit just fucked me up, Birdie. I can't excuse my actions. I can't excuse the other person's actions. The dumb thing is, I don't know. I think it's just something with the human brain where you gotta record everything, Fight, somebody dying, somebody stealing, anything just gotta be recorded. And then, even when it's not supposed to be recorded, it still is. Private messages, private audio. Shit, some of the most strongest individuals in the world have audio and videos that have been recorded that they don't want to see because their power might be manipulated or blackmailed to the point where they lose their position. But since I'm on the lower of the side, that's just me doing childish shit, Your boy try to make, it's just what they be saying? There's a silver lining to every cloud. Still don't know. Is that an idiom or a metaphor? I don't think it's an idiom. I still don't know what that means, right? I understand it to the surface level value of well, there's good and there's bad. Just find the good with the bad. And that's hard to say when it's like a higher situation, like seeing your closest, well, I'll use it, seeing my closest cousin pass away, right, getting killed. There's nothing good about that. What's the goodest thing? Oh, I get to leave the fucking neighborhood now, but that motherfucker's still gone. Fuck. I'd rather still live in that fucking neighborhood and see my cousin than be here, right? That I feel like that does something to the human psyche. Not even just like what gender it is. It does like reversible damage to like the human brain, and I think that it's even way more powerful when you're like in the military and you're like on front lines. And I see that with my biological father almost every day. But that's another topic, Brady. You know, we all got our battles and we all make mistakes. But this mistake, it's bad, but it's more funny than anything. I wouldn't like funny, haha, like damn, that shit get caught up, like damn. Like maybe if like I change my type of music or I change my story times to like shit I did as a teenager, because I'm still a teenager, so maybe when I get older I'll speak about it. I might have like one of them little cartoons ass thumbnails with my face doing like this and explaining story times. But I feel like that's like the I don't want to allude to it, but like you know how story times go when it's a black dude. It's usually about school, shit like that, what they did at school, getting caught up, you know, shit like that. But I feel like not even every black man, but I feel like that experience goes to any teenager because, you know, your curiosity gets the best of you. So you start experimenting, and then you're doing things you know you're not supposed to be doing, but you're still doing it because, you know, it sparks the synapses in your brain, your dopamine levels are high. It's like eating chocolate for the first time. You know, you keep on eating it sparingly until you get taste fatigue. And at that time, I didn't get taste fatigue. Shit, I was getting more greedy. Is that a fucking car with zebra print on it? Y'all seeing this? Can y'all see that? It's a car with zebra print. What the fuck is this neighborhood? But yeah, my phone's at 20, so we're gonna walk around, but then we're gonna probably head back once it hits 10. But anyway, sometimes you just gotta take that shit on the chin. And boy, did I take that bitch on the chin, I damn near got knocked out. And then I'm low-key blessed that my overthinking didn't get the best of me, even though I threw up and shit. You know, because for a dude, I'll say I'm very, not emotionally in tune, but kind of emotional. But not emotional to the point where I let the anger get the best of me to the point I'm yelling. Or to me, I always like to follow up with my grandfather. He never yells. On my mother's side, he never yells, no matter what the situation is. He always has a calm, stoic voice. And with me, sometimes I be feeling like there's nothing up there. You know, he's still in New York, so I'm supposed to be going to see him soon. Sometimes I feel like there's nothing up there, but there's something up there. He just sees the world in a different view, just like everybody else. But I know the world is so complex that, you know, seeing it in a simplistic view is the most best thing you could do. No matter what the situation is, right? Being hysterical is you know, it's warranted to some degree, but being hysterical in the body that you're in and who you are, you know, it's not excusatory to be like, well, I'm a man and I'm black, so I can't be emotional. I gotta be level-headed. That's not the reason you should be level-headed. You should be level-headed just because, you know? And I'm not gonna come on here venting and be like, damn, I lost my little yeah. I got excommunicated from the family. This, that, and the third. You gotta eat that shit, bro. Maybe later on, I could seek forgiveness, you know? But seeking forgiveness, it's a long way from here. I give it shit. If I'm going to college, not for football, but just going there, just to get a degree, shit, I'll graduate at, around 21? Yeah, I'm graduating around, I'm graduating around 21, 22. Maybe, shit, I doubt that. Should probably be another person in my spot at that point, but if I'm still well connected with that individual, against their wishes, maybe, but I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Like this some like Netflix type of caught up shit. Where some Netflix type of shit. Like boy, what the fuck? Like if I was the adult in this situation, low key, I don't even know what I would do. But if we're thinking of the perspective of my mind, but just in an adult body, I would probably bring it up in a conversation in a joking way. Tell them both to, be safe while doing that, and make sure you lock all your devices when you're doing those type of activities, But if I was really an adult and, the mind worth the adult mind, and you seen your child doing that, even though they're of age, I don't know. Maybe I would have did the same thing. I know I wouldn't crash out, though. Don't get me wrong. I ain't going to be one of them laid-back ass parents, but disciplining, yeah, Now, I ain't going to be beating the shit out of my child. End up like how I am. I'm not going to be beating the shit out of my child every time they do something bad to the point where they're hesitant to even make a concept in their mind to do anything. But, disciplinary action will help. Maybe more than others, but, they say fear is the best way to control, so I wonder why it's used and it's implemented in almost every facet of the word. But boy, did we fuck up. Hey, man, but boy, did we fuck up. Hey, fuck up's not the word. Like, was it an extravagant fuck up? It was an enormous fuck up, like a gargantuan fuck up. Was it disrespectful? In every facet of the word. But I don't want to blow it out of proportion like I did some vile shit right by somebody. No. It was a selective, private, controlled moment between two individuals that was heated, and then shit. I was going to compare it to some wild shit, but never mind. But yeah, sometimes I was gonna title this shit "Delete Your History," but I'll give it away. But sometimes you just gotta double check all your shits, We wasn't on our P's and Q's, and our P's and Q's shit. That shit turned into B's and O's. If y'all know what that mean, y'all tap in. If not, it's okay, you too young. But I'm pretty sure, like, my audience is, like, I'm trying to get every age possible on my list. And it's, like, I think it's, like, 13 to 17. And then it's, like, 18 to, like, 25. And it's, like, 25 to 34. And it's, like, 52 and to so on and so on. I got some elders in there. I got some elders in my watch. But I think it's my shorts, though, not my videos. I won't hype this video up too much. Mainly because I've been seeing some of my videos are actually getting traction, right? So, I used to think I was younger. I was like, oh, well, my experience is different from others. Nobody. We all got the same experiences, but some things are added on or subtracted to. Where some experiences are worse than others. Like getting caught smoking, getting caught drinking. Maybe if you don't smoke and drink like I do, it's probably getting caught being on the game when you wasn't supposed to and get your ass beat, or getting caught playing sick, trying to leave school, or being out before your bedtime or some shit. Those are equivalent. Not the same thing, but they're equivalent as being caught in some aspect. Okay? And then what's another one? Stealing, it's the same concept, but I'll put it in a different, right? Stealing something or taking something that your parents or your legal guardian told you not to take. Like your game system, your phone, some new fresh clothes you just bought. Something like that, right? I feel like we all have that experience. In some matter of speaking, right? And then everybody will have their first experience. graduating high school, graduating college, getting their first car, first girlfriend, you know, doing the devil's tangle for the first time, devil's tangle, you know, having your first interaction with a lady or a male spouse, you know. Some are better than others, some are worse. Shit, mine's, we ain't even gonna speak on that. Because I used to say almost every video, I'm not a good person. And I'm aware of that. Do I try to change? Hell yeah. Is it working? Kinda. But I'm not an evil person, as in I bully people, I beat the shit, I steal. That's all past me. I'm an evil person in the aspect of the mental anguish I cause people, evidently not even trying to, you know? You know, I might never physically hurt you, but I guess the mental pain is way worse, you know? Not me love bombing or anything. I guess me being in your vicinity is a great thing until I leave, and then people say I'm addicting. I don't understand that, you know? Because mind you, I'm not that smart. Not that charismatic. Don't got it all figured out. Not the tallest of the bunch, not the most athletic. But this ain't a video to dump on me. It's just, I know what I got. I know what the things I have, I know what I don't. So when I leave, I don't understand why it's so hard for people to let go. No matter who it is, you know? And I hate seeing people cry. Because I feel like it switches my brain to not emotional, but trying to fix the problem to stop you crying. And I think that's in every male's mind, though. Thinking logically for an illogical problem, you know? And if that's the case, damn, Christian's finna be hella awkward for that. I see, I'm still thinking, Christian's finna be hella awkward. Not for me, because we don't celebrate Christmas like that. Not because, we do Hanukkah or shit like that. It's just, when you've been broke most of your life, holidays is on the back burners in your mind. And then even when you got some little money on, you want to say that until like a birthday or some shit. Because Christmas always comes, you know? You don't know when you're finna make it to your next birthday, especially where I used to live, you know? That's a blessing to hit, 15, 13. It's a blessing to get past preteens without being corrupted in a sexual deviant way or a drug-inducing way, you know? Especially where I used to be. I'm not saying it's fucking, what them kids be doing? Damn, what they be saying? Fucking old block and shit, like, no. It's not like that, but it has its days where it's pretty bad. But even with that, it has its good days too, you know? And I would say I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to recollect on my emotions. I'm blessed to see my faults and my issues and my grievances as a human being, you know? Even though I said I don't see myself as a human. And what do I see? I see myself as just an individual that is disguised as one, you know? Because being so-called humans and be able to embrace your mistakes and going day by day on some Superman shit, right? But I hate mistakes, though. I hate mistakes, you know? I'm never calm and calculated, but I hate mistakes to the point where, not when I get caught up, I hate mistakes to the point where it makes me seem lesser than what I actually am, right? And, people say, that's a sexy ass car. People say if you want to feel better about yourself, you got to have a narcissistic type of tone or thinking of yourself. Like, you got to be like, I'm that guy. Like, it's like confidence inducing. You got to be a little bit arrogant in your mind to tell yourself, to convince your mind you can do it. Because, people say your only restraint is yourself. And I'm telling you, the one thing you can't lie, you can't lie about your mind, about your capacity. You might can say some sting words and here and there, but you can't lie about what you know or how you feel. Because it might not show physically, but it will show, evidently. Like, it will show periodically. Like, you you'll start, fading away. You'll start fading away to the point where you see yourself degrade over time mentally, right? And you can replay a mistake or replay an issue 1,000 times over, and then you can blame every individual that took part in it. But once I used to say, even if the blame game is 99%, 0.99 of them, you still gotta take that 0.01% and take all of it. You still gotta take all of it, because that 1% was the tipping of the cattle. That one drop was the reason why it started overflowing in the first place. No matter how much they built it up, it's a lot of things that led to that situation happening. 2 teenagers not knowing no better. But hey, bro, you live and you learn. Shit, I'm surprised I'm still living. And what I learned is clear out your history, clear out your stuff. Make sure you triple check and triple delete. Or just don't do it in general, Even when everybody's gone doesn't mean, Hey, but I swear, when I get older, I won't embellish the story, Probably gonna change names, what happened here and there, but maybe I'll tell the story later on, And I'll ask that person that I still care for to this day if they cool for me telling that story, Or I could just, make it a song. Yeah, like a story type of song type shit. Maybe. Oh, my shit at 10. Yeah, probably, make it a song or something. So, I don't know. Should I loop around? Well, fuck it. We're just gonna walk. We're gonna walk the trail, and then we're gonna head back home. And then, I don't really edit videos anyway, but we're probably gonna trim it down, make it look all nice and stuff. Give it a pretty title as always, and a nice little beautiful thumbnail, right? And as I said, each title, each description have a meaning. It correlates to the video that is on it, or the video that is before, or the video that is next. And some, if your brain's more fucked up or crazy like mine, I think you can be able to connect some of them. And I might use some of those titles for my album, Not like an album cover, but I'm gonna use some of them for the song titles. But I'm not gonna lie, it was gut-wrenching to just when that person said that, bro, I felt sick. I wasn't screaming or nothing, because I tend to keep calm, but bro, when I tell you my heart hit my ass, I started bro, I did some movie shit. I went to the wall and I sat down and just hold my head not that my life is over, because shit happens. It's just human life, shit happens. But when somebody sees you, see you doing shit like that, it tends to alter the aspect, or alter the so-called vision they had of you, of not being this pristine person or this upstanding guy, but more on how could you do that in somebody's home without them knowing, It's deceitful and disrespectful, and so forth and so on. But you just gotta eat that shit. You just gotta eat it. But boy, can't blame nobody but yourself, and each party that partook in the activity. But hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking all the blame. The reason I'm taking all the blame because I didn't suggest it, but I still agreed. So hey, it is what it is. What else can solitude bless upon you today, if this video even stays up for the longest, because my phone is at 10? Be honest and transparent. Keep a clear mind. Don't try to be clairvoyant, because it's impossible. Make the most complicated issue simplistic, and stay light. Is that fire? That's fire? Hell yeah, stay light. Those are the things that solitude could bless you for today. Because after this, I'm going to go. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell. I finished my resume, chat. Yeah. We're going to pick up some more jobs. Even though jobs is just slavery with extra steps. But hey, got to make money somehow. If I start making money off of my music and YouTube, hey, just know I will be acting different. I will be switching up on my day ones, which I don't have any day ones. I have day threes, you know. My day ones have all moved on, which is crazy. Like, imagine seeing somebody you knew all the way to elementary to, college, just doing good. That shit's just, it's a cool thing. But boy, let me tell you something. You done fucked up. I knew I fuck up when, I was looking at my government name when they said it. I was like, oh, shit. I wouldn't even say my nickname. They said my government name. I got the most Caucasian government name you could ever think of, Most used name, unisex name, though. Anybody can have it. And there's alter names to it, But, yeah, we're gonna head out. I don't know, should we make this 40 minutes? I was finna run, but ain't no reason to run, because that shit said 10% like a couple minutes ago, so. But my phone's pretty cold, so it might hold up, It might hold up for a little minute, who knows? But, anyways, you see how, people always wonder, how do you stay calm? Like, solitude, how do you do it? Nobody asks that, but, the reason I stay calm so much, because I used to think, like, there was a point in time where I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I had to go to school wearing the same clothes. And if not, I had to get hand-me-downs from my cousins, right? So I wouldn't get picked on. All that is still in my mind, like, I got a phone now. I can work, I can eat, I can sleep. Shit, I can even play sports and not even have that to be my only option on the way out. So the way I see it, I'm blessed. And it's a blessing to even live, You gotta thank the individuals that made you, Some people thank God. I thank the people that made me. I thank the people that got me here. I have my ups and downs. And I used to blame my so-called mental illnesses on the people that created me, because they were fucked up individuals too, but they did their best that they could. So, combining two fucked up individuals just creates, you can't just do a negative times a negative, and then expect a bigger negative. That's not how math works, chat. If I owe you money and then I add the money you owe me before, nigga, that's more money you owe me. What is you talking about? But hey, it gets like that, Brody. It gets like that. But yeah, I'm probably gonna start this video at 40 minutes. And why is that? Mainly because my phone is low and I felt enough shame today, But keep your private life private, keep your public life private, keep your personal life private, and lie about everything, right? Even though that goes against what I said before, I'm playing. I mean, if you want to be a personality or something with the internet, don't lie about the most simplest shit, but lie about the things that you don't want people to know, right? And yeah, even though I tell you to, but when you're with people you love and you care for, stay transparent, stay honest, Make everything simple, as I said. Anyway, it was great conversing with the first individual who sees this video, Not everything's about what you create. Sometimes it's about the things that you can see. But anyway, Love you. Stay up. I'll see you tomorrow.